Hi friends, let us learn about ABG analysis today. So, what is ABG analysis? A stands for arterial, B stands for blood, G stands for gas analysis. So, what is ABG analysis? Arterial blood gas analysis. It helps to find out the acid base balance. So, for what purpose we do ABG analysis? It helps to find out the acid base balance. And it helps to interpret the conditions. It helps to interpret the conditions which affects what? First, the respiratory system. Second, the circulatory system. Third, metabolic process. So, what is ABG analysis? Arterial blood gas analysis. It helps to find out the acid-base balance and it helps to interpret the conditions which affects three systems: respiratory system, circulatory system and the metabolic process. What is metabolic process? The body converts food into energy. This process is called metabolic process. Now, from which part we collect blood for ABG analysis? The main three sites are three arteries. Which are they? The radial artery, femoral artery, the brachial artery. Which are the three sites? Radial artery, femoral artery and the brachial artery. Normal values in ABG. So, let us see what are the normal values in ABG. The first is pH. pH means power of hydrogen ions. What is pH? Power of hydrogen ions. So, the value of the power of hydrogen ions is 7.352. 7.45. This is the normal range of power of hydrogen ions. That means pH. Now, the second one is PaCO2. Partial pressure of CO2, carbon dioxide in our body is 35 to 45 mm of Hg. Third one is bicarb, that is HCO3. The value is 22 to 26 milliequivalent per liter. This is the normal range of bicarb in our body. Now, partial pressure of O2, PaO2, oxygen, that is 80 to 100 mm of Hg. What is the normal range of PaO2? 80 to 100 mm of Hg. The oxygen saturation level will be between 94 to 100%. So, what are the normal values in ABG? pH, the power of hydrogen ion is 3.5 to 7.35 to 7.45. The partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 35 to 45 mm Hg. Bicarb level is 22 to 26 milliequivalent per liter. The partial pressure of oxygen is 80 to 100 mm of Hg. O2 saturation level will be between 94 to 100%. So we should know the normal values of these determinants in ABG. So we can find out what is the condition and which organ is getting affected in a patient's body. So from this we can find out easily, like PaCO2. This indicates respiratory system. So it is a respiratory determinant. The bicarb level indicates what? Metabolic. So it is a metabolic determinant. Any changes in this value shows what is the present condition in the patient. So, partial pressure of CO2, which indicates respiratory system, and the bicarb indicates metabolic system. Now, let us learn about pH in detail. So, what was the normal range of pH? 7.35 to 7.45. This was the normal range we have learned. So, if the value is less than 7.35, then it is acidic. Why? The hydrogen ion concentration is high. That's why the acidity is increasing. So this condition is known as acidosis. If the pH level is more than 7.45, that means base is increased. The condition is known as alkalosis. Why? It is not acidic. In this condition, the hydrogen ion concentration is less. So the normal range of pH is 7.35 to 7.45. In this, 7.35 is the first range. If it is less than 7.35, the condition is acidic, which is known as acidosis, because in this hydrogen ion concentration is very high. If it is more than 7.45, the condition is known as alkalosis. In this, the hydrogen ion concentration is less. Now, let us see about PaCO2, partial pressure of CO2. What was the range? It is between 35 to 45 mm of Hg. So, If it is less than 35, if it is less than 35, then the condition is alkalosis. It is base. If it is more than 45, then it is acidic. This condition is just opposite to the pH. Why? The CO2, carbon dioxide, when it comes out of the cell, it gets react with water, which forms carbonic acid, H2CO3. It releases what? Hydrogen ions and bicarbonate. Did you understand? So, the 35 value, if it is less than the 35 value, this condition is alkalosis, and more than 45 acidosis. Why? The CO2 is a acidic gas. Why? The CO2 comes out of this cell, then gets reacted with the water, then forms carbonic acid, which releases the hydrogen ions and the bicarbonate. So, the CO2 helps to release the hydrogen ions. If the hydrogen ions is more, the condition is acidic. So, that's why the CO2 is a acidic gas. So, if the CO2 level is less, that is alkalosis. If the CO2 level is high, then it is acidosis. Now, let us see about the bicarb level. HCO3 minus is the bicarbonate level. So, what was the range? 22 to 26 milliequivalent per liter. So, the CO2 is controlled by lungs. Okay. The bicarb is controlled by what? Kidney. The bicarb is a base. So, if the base is less than 26, that condition is acidic. If the base is more than 26, then it is alkalosis. What is base? HCO3 is a base. If the base is less than 22, then it is acidic. If the base is more than 26, then it is alkalosis. Now, let us see what are the goals of ABG analysis. Goals of ABG analysis. The first goal is to find out whether the condition is acidosis or alkalosis. The second goal is to find out whether it is a respiratory condition or metabolic condition. The third goal is the ABG is whether compensated or partially compensated or uncompensated. So there are three goals of ABG analysis. First one is whether the condition is acidosis or alkalosis. We have discussed how to find out whether the condition is acidic, whether the condition is alkaline. The second thing is respiratory, whether the condition, otherwise metabolic condition. We will find out from the PaCO2 level. If it is metabolic condition, we will find out from the bicarb level. Now, the third goal is whether the ABG is compensated, partially compensated or uncompensated. Now, I will explain what is compensated, partially compensated and uncompensated. What is uncompensated? Fully compensated and partially compensated. So, let us discuss about this. In uncompensated level, bicarb, partial pressure of carbon dioxide, pH. In this, the pH level will be varied. One of this will be varied. This both, there will not be change. Only one determinant will have variation with the pH level. In fully compensated, the pH will be normal, but the bicarb and partial pressure of CO2, there will be change. Okay. Now, partially compensated, what happens? The pH, partial pressure of CO2 and bicarb. In these three determinants, there will be changes. So, what we have learned here? Uncompensated means whether the bicarb, otherwise partial pressure of CO2 will be changed. One of this will be changed and pH level will also change. In fully compensated, pH level will be normal, but the bicarb and partial pressure of CO2 level will be changed. In partially compensated, pH, PaCO2 and HCO3, three of this will be changed. So, this is uncompensated, fully compensated, partially compensated ABG.